I know.
Okay. Welcome back. This is episode number 9 of the From the Fabricator podcast. I'm Max Perlstein, your host. Thank you so much for joining me once again. I appreciate you joining me on this journey, and it's been a heck of a 9 months so far. So we have yet another podcast lined up for you today, and I'm excited, as always, with some excellent guests. We'll get to them in a moment. Obviously pushing this one out a little earlier in the month because I wanted to get it out before GlassBuild. So those of you traveling to Atlanta, maybe listening to this on a plane, maybe listening to this in your car on the way to the show, I look forward to seeing you on the floor. It is going to be an excellent event, a very motivated show. Obviously, because of COVID and everything that's going on, the attendance is not going to be what we are all used to, but I believe it's still going to be solid. And I do really think it's going to be a very motivated and hungry crowd. People that are there to do business. There's nobody there for the heck of it this year. I'm telling you that. Everybody is there. They're motivated. They're ready to go. They want to get things done. And I'm excited about it. And I look forward to seeing you there. And I think the people that are coming, the big thing right now is supply chain. And it is a challenge at every step of the way. And that's where GlassBuild comes in, is being able to renew and reinvigorate those relationships with suppliers and also find new ones because things are so tough, and it's at every level, at every part of the business. And this is where GlassBuild will really shine. And I can't wait. That is definitely one of my crown jewels. This and BEC are the things that drive me each year. And so this is it. And I'm looking forward to Atlanta and the 2021 GlassBuild America. So before we again move on to the guest, big week in news, or big couple weeks in news since my last podcast. Obviously, thrilled to see some of the movements with the energy related products that are getting some traction out there. The VIG Technologies announcement with Vitro is exciting. The Ubiquitous Energies announcement with Antimax, and then they also had another one with Michigan State University. Very exciting. So things like that really are important for our world. We need to keep them going and have more of them, quite frankly, because that is the way things are headed. I've covered all of that on my blog. I just wanted to touch on it real quick. Now, let's get ready for these interviews. 3 sets today, 3 as always, starting off with Jim Evans of Bidclips. Fascinating guy, energetic, interesting, just cool also. Then we move to Michael and Carolyn Spellman, trailblazers in our industry. They totally created a new segment, disrupted that segment, doing it again now with VIG, and love hearing the stories. And Michael still hustles today like he hustled when he started. The guy, it just doesn't stop. He's fabulous. And then last but not least, Barbara Haaksma from CR Laurence. I probably just butchered her last name. I'm terrible at names. And so we'll fix that one as we go. But Barbara and CR Laurence, obviously a brand name to be reckoned with in our industry. Very important player within the GlassBuild realm. You'll be seeing them there. And fun to get to know Barbara, and excited about some of the things they have coming down the pike. So stay tuned. Stay with us. 3 great interviews, starting off right now with Jim Evans. Okay. Kicking things off this month, I am absolutely thrilled to be joined by the one, the only Jim Evans of Bidclips. He's the co-founder, CSO, fund director of Bidclips. You can find them online at bidclips.com. You can see them at GlassBuild next week at booth number 28. It's right by one of the entrances. And he's decked out. He's got his Glass Nerd hat on, his Customer Whisperer sweatshirt on. For those of you watching on YouTube, it's a heck of a thing. If you're listening to this on an audio pod, get to the YouTube so you can see how he's set up. And Jim, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
So glad to be here. I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm such a nerd. I love your podcast. I love what you write. I love what you're doing. And I love a lot of your followers, the engagement. Thanks for making that happen. And thanks for having me. Don't know that I deserve to be here, but I'm happy to be here.
No, absolutely. My pleasure. And no, you fit right in. Your enthusiasm is just off the charts. And I mean, we were just talking before I started to record. We met at Texpo for the first time, and it was really cool because, I mean, you just have that passion for the industry like I do. So I think that's why we hit it off so well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't even know it was you right away. I should
Right.
have, it's like walking past a superstar and
Oh
forgetting to
yeah,
get
no,
the
no.
autograph, but I've had lots of selfies since. It was fun. I got my Glass Nerd hat from
Yep.
you and Andrew, and I got the glasses that Andrew said I'd never wear.
Yep. Let's see him. Yep.
What's
So
up, Andrew? I'm wearing them and I'll be wearing them next week. So
Andrew Herring.
great to
Yeah.
meet you as well.
No, awesome, awesome, and yeah, next week we will see a GlassBuild. And so let's start back with the past, because the best thing about getting to know you was the fact that you're a glass guy through and through, family through and through. I mean, yeah, we're going to talk about Bidclips, and what you got there is amazing, but you're not like a software guy coming into the glass business. You're a glass guy who is expanded. So let's talk a little bit about you, where you came from, your path, and up until now. I mean, how do we get to this day with you?
Wow. Yeah, no, I never thought I would be in software. I'm really glad I am. It kind of found me. So we'll keep it high level. My family started a little glass company. My father joined his brother-in-law and they started Diamond Auto Glass together, built it together. My uncle had started it. And they ended up expanding to about 8 stores around Montana and Spokane over the years between the two of them. So I grew up, like you often say, a glass brat, tool in my hand, from age 14 on. And I've always been an entrepreneur as a young kid. And so my father and my grandfather and my uncle just really taught me the true meaning of customer service. They really embodied fun and customer service. And I can say our glass shops were fun to be around. They were fun to work in. Laughter was rewarded. We grew Diamond Auto Glass. They grew it as a family. I was installing windshields, putting in shower enclosures, all the way up to some light commercial. One of our shops when I was a kid was a full service gas station. And in order for us to sell windshields and run our units out the back and everything, we had to pump gas. So I drew the low end of the totem pole at about 15 years old. And I'd be there till 10 p.m. at night, just old ladies drive up and
Yeah.
drunk people, and the bell would ring and I have to go out there and wash their windshield and ask them if they want anything, get them coffee. And, I remember my dad was like, someone's got to run the gas station. So I've done kind of everything from pumping gas to putting in glass. And I naturally found my way to customer service. I love working with people. I love getting to know them. I love the stories. The customer whisperer, this sweatshirt really is. I'd love to help make frustrated customers happier, find solutions. I also just like to give customers a great experience.
Yeah, and no doubt, I think that's just in getting to know you, it really is all about you. I mean, you do have you give that off, and I love that's probably a T-shirt somewhere, pumping gas and making glass,
Selling glass, yeah, exactly.
Glass.
And yeah, and then as I grew up, in a family business, like a lot of us, I learned. I didn't realize how much I had learned from our
Right.
industry. I didn't realize how important our industry is to everything we do in other industries. In college, I left and I went to, or right after college, I did an internship. Then I went to work for a company in Boise, Idaho, different industry completely,
Okay.
marketing, storytelling. And I had a chance to mentor an amazing businessman who wasn't family. And he was my refining process. And if Tim's listening, he'll be laughing about that. He just pushed me to my core and really taught me how to serve people, how to sell, how to run a company, how to build something great. And I was very fortunate. He was a man of faith. He was just a good influence in my life.
Yeah.
And I remember sitting there in a hot tub with a cigar with him in Sun Valley, Idaho, and and he's like, "Well, you gonna come do this for the rest of your life?" And I remember I had this moment. I said, "No, I need to go home."
Yeah.
I need to go back to not just Montana, where I love. I'm a fisherman and a skier. I need to go home to customer service.
Yeah.
That's what I want to do. I love our industry. I miss it. I never thought I'd say that. Glass guys were always like trying to get out. I came back and I got to choose to come back, which was great. And I think everyone kind of needs that in their life in some way. So I came back and I took over one of my family stores and started to run the store and built that up. I actually got onto Glass Magazine, little prop here, 2008.
Love it.
I was a lot younger, less stressful. And in 2008, just started hustling, and that was a hard time. We hit the recession real hard, and I ended up not losing us money. So I also got this award, 10 under 40, in 2008. And the joke behind that isn't that I'm good at what I do. There were literally only 10 of us under 40, I think, in the whole industry.
True.
So there's no accolades, but I just was very much about our industry. I loved being part of Glass Magazine and growing. And anyway, so I, like a lot of us, we took the shop and just blew it up, and it started growing fast. And in the middle of that, I lost myself, and I had a major life collapse, and just got refined and stripped down to my core. Made some really stupid mistakes, broke up a marriage. And I'm saying this because a lot of our listeners right now, you got to know that it's part of life we can be able to bounce back. And so I remember sitting in with my grandfather after all that happened, and he's like, "You're not the only one that's made a mistake." He's like, "This is your chance to get back to your core. What is it you want to do?" And I told him some stuff. "Well, here's some ideas I have." He said, "No, what is it? Who are you?" I said, "I love serving. I love customer service." He's like, "Well, now that you're finally broken, start to serve people." And that, honestly, Max, that started it all. That started the journey. And I just have dedicated my life from that moment, our lives, to I just want to serve people. I want to help businesses. I want to check my ego at the door. I just want to be a teachable, helpful influence and give back everything I had taken to the industry. So that's really my journey into Bidclips.
Fascinating, and I love the fact that you worked your way back to the glass industry, because very similar to me from the standpoint of my brother told me, from day one, it's in your blood, and I never believed him. But I do think when your family's in this business, it is in your blood, and the difference. I love the fact that the difference between me and you is I loved a lot of different aspects. I struggled with customer service because I'm not a sales guy naturally. My brother's the sales guy. He's unbelievable. Me, I like the, building up of the campaigns. I like the back end sort of stuff, back end of the office, definitely not the warehouse. They don't trust me out there. But I was different than he was, and different obviously than you. And customer service, I love what you've now created with Bidclips, because it's funny. I met you at Texpo. You told me about it. You said, "Hey, take a demo." I took the demo and I was floored. I did not expect that, because when I've been, I've worked for different retail places over the years, and, either consulting or, in a marketing position. And I've seen so many different platforms. Most of them are not geared to construction. Most of them are geared towards a typical retail thing. And then I saw yours, and it was so geared to us and so focused. And so, how did you take what you knew from the glass industry, what you knew about customer service, and the desire you had to make the best customer service experience? How did you pull all that together to create Bidclips? I'm amazed by this.
Well, hey, I didn't do anything by myself. As you know, those who can't do customer service, right? Like you. No, honestly, Bidclips found me in so many ways. And that sounds so much like a friggin' Hallmark card. Here's how it came together. So in my rebuild of my life, my father was very generous and blessing. And he just said, "Hey, how about you?" Because we always want to start a remote contact center. Instead of having our stressed out secretaries and salespeople trying to manage all the chaos of a new first impression with a customer, we said we need to break this out so we can just focus on the customer without glass guys yelling, trucks driving out the door, people throwing things around. You just don't always have a great energy in the shop. So we started a little thing called Service Station, which was me in a 1-bedroom apartment fielding inbound calls from my father's stores. And we started that in 2010, right after I got, and so VoIP phone systems were just fresh out, and we'd have these 100-foot Ethernet cables, and I would travel with like my little plastic disc and I'd roll cables out, and I would man, we would sell it on tops of roofs, at friends' houses, etc. On ski trips, and I was able to sell remotely, start my life over, focus on serving people. And man, Max, what you learn from customers when you're not distracted by shops is unbelievable. The amount of information that we gather. So I quickly hired my brother because I couldn't handle all the inbound leads from the shops. We're selling auto glass and just pushing windshields. And then my brother, then I said, "Hey, and we charged commissions on jobs that got done." Okay. So when you do that, you actually see the ball roll down the track all the way till invoice. And that tells a story about the customer's behavior, shop's strengths and inadequacies. And luckily, I was smart enough, we kept it all on a spreadsheet, right? So we built this company, and I'll fast forward. We built it up starting with just friends. We were splitting commissions, getting jobs done. We built it up to 30 plus clients over North America. 25 remote estimators and call people, team, and they would do clever interviews. For those of you watching, if you want to go check out, we have some hilarious YouTube videos of them. They'd make music videos, they'd write poems. People try to like earn the right to work in the company. And we created this amazing culture of fun, excitement, and shops were loving it. We were booking more jobs at higher prices, with happier customers than they've seen, because we were just able to focus on the customer, sell the job, get it to the shop could just do the work.
Right.
So then along came Austin Casey, our CEO of Bidclips, internally in our team called the Elon Musk of the service industry.
Okay.
Guy is unreal. He comes in from a background in technology. I met him here in Missoula on a soccer team. And we built this just amazing friendship for 3 years. And I was just so blown away by his understanding of data, financial insight, trends, statistics, things we just don't have in the glass business.
Right.
I'll be honest.
Right.
And he stepped in and he's looking at our data, our spreadsheets, and he's helping us build the spreadsheets. And my brother-in-law was our COO, and he still is, Will. And we just got together, and all of us as a team started being like, wow, there's something here. And that's where Bidclips started to get born. And I'll never forget, Austin looked at me and said, is the whole industry this disorganized? And I said, we're the most organized. And that's where he left what he was doing, stepped over. We did a handshake. There's this little pub in our town called the Stone of Accord. He's an Irishman, and there's a hole in the rock, and we shook hands 2 years ago. We built a big technology company on a handshake up until about last year. Just two friends wanting to help build something great using my industry knowledge, our industry knowledge. And then right away, we had 25 testers for our software. So in beta, we had people selling with it to give us feedback. We had something that most tech companies don't have. But most importantly, we didn't build it as programmers. We built it as glass consultants, as service industry consultants. And we built it to cover all service industries, because if you can do glass, you can do it all. And so we knew glass was hard. It works its way down. So that's the kind of the journey and the story. And most importantly, we just found a lot of really cool insights and cool data that would just blow people's minds. So I've got some data points that will just floor you. First of all, customers' willingness to work with us, not against us, is massive. We don't have to just sit there and tell them a price and then try to explain it. We can show it to them with a click of the button. Bidclips was a $10 domain name we could buy. But more importantly, we were like, we just need like the Snapchat of our industry for the future. We need to be able to show what's going on, guide people with what we need. We need to then also, when we send them an estimate or tell them what we're going to do, we need to show them what we're going to do, show them what we've done in other similar jobs, show them why they can trust us and earn their business. So bid means to earn people's love, trust, and respect. Clips mean through data points, digital measurement tools, digital, we got the works, pictures, videos are worth 1,000 words. And like I like to say, they cut down 1,000 mistakes. So, and miscommunications. That's really what Bidclips is. And it's a weird enough brand that people will ask, what is it? And we get to tell them the story.
Yeah. And so basically, those of you who are listening and watching this, if you go to bidclips.com, you can get a little bit of an overview, but just for the heck of it, Jim, I'm a glass shop in New Baltimore, Michigan. Why do I jump on Bidclips? Give me the elevator pitch.
In your glass shop in Baltimore, Michigan, how many quotes have you sent out that never got followed up on?
Tons, because I'm just too busy. I'm too busy. I don't have time to follow up on it.
And you probably tried calling. Well, we happen to know that here's a cool little stat for you. This just came out. We happen to know that 63% of people between the age 16 and 24 don't even pick up their phone anymore. They won't pick it up. They will not pick it up.
Wow.
So if you have estimates that you've went out and measured, you've put time into, we're not following up, they're probably disorganized, probably like a folder sitting on your desk that you're just kind of hoping to get to. Too busy. You're probably doing busy work that you shouldn't have even won in the first place. You talked yourself down on it because you were already there. So there's a dysfunction, there's a disconnect. Bidclips helps organize that front end sales management process.
Gotcha.
Big companies like our service titans out there, the Elmo, they're wonderful for CRM, managing trucks, managing inventory. But the PDF, like little paper estimate, is not enough. So Bidclips needs to be able to deliver an Amazon experience. Customers have to see what they're buying. They have to be able to choose add-ons. Most importantly, Max, when you send out a $10,000 curtain wall estimate or a $20,000 job, it needs a $20,000 presentation. They're not
Yes.
going to go to your website. So when they open our estimate, they see your shop. They learn about the Perelstein family. They learn about why they should choose you. They see what you're going to do for them with 3 clicks, by the way, guys. It's not a bunch of work because it's templates. And so that's what we do. We try to encounter that moment of decision. We make it easy for customers to book. So 23% of our people book and pay after hours right through the widget without even calling the shops.
That's a big thing. That's
34%,
huge. That's huge because
massive.
9 to 5 doesn't exist anymore.
No, not at all. We won one of our clients won a $21,000 job a few days ago, $10,000 on the credit card that they had estimated 2 weeks prior.
Yeah.
The customer got around to it, talked to their spouse, slammed that reserve button, and sold it. And they didn't have to do anything. No office staff, nothing. So we're trying to cut down wasted time, wasted opportunity. If you all are saying, we can't find the work, we can't find the labor, well, let technology automate the things that can be automated.
Right.
So your people can be focused on the things that help you get caught up again.
And I liked when I did your demo, the follow-ups were just tremendous. I mean, and that was, to me, again, a human in an office can't do that.
And they won't. I've
won't.
managed people for 25 years. We've managed people. They just aren't going to do it. So this just systemizes it. And they're personalized. It's your story. You guys can decide if you want it to follow up in 10 minutes, a day, hour, up to 6 months, etc. And they're just a nice little touch points, email, text, and not just hoping someone's going to call. Yeah.
And so this is coming out before GlassBuild. And the reason is because I've got people on this podcast that are all heavily invested in GlassBuild. You guys are, being booth number 28. So those that are listening to this on their flights to Atlanta or their drives to Atlanta, whatever the case may be, what are they going to see when they walk into your booth, aside from the fun and the excitement of your smiling face and your staff's smiling face? What are they going to be able to see the demo? You're going to have computer set up there. I mean, what's the plan for the booth at GlassBuild?
Hey, best thing we have is our customers tell the story. We've got an amazing video of one of our power users that we're going to unveil. They saved $36,000 in fuel. They almost doubled their sales with no additional technicians. They cut 5 office staff so they could do other things like check in glass, do accounts receivable, and they cut their phone calls almost in half. So we're going to let our customers tell the story. But more importantly, they're going to get me and Gabe and a few of us. We're going to meet you and listen to you, and you can tell me about your business. And then we have a tool that isn't the same fits all. So I can make Bidclips showcase Max and Max's glass in your niche, in your town, in your industry. So even if all of you are using Bidclips, you can all use it your way. And I love to fly fish. People know that. I'm going to hand you guys fly boxes, fly rods, and say, I'm ready to teach you really easily how to catch better fish in the right streams.
I love it. I love it. Now, again, this past week, huge news with you, and you hooked up with the team at Glazer Nation. Glazer Nation put out a note on LinkedIn talking about their connection with Bidclips, and it seems like you both are aligned with the right idea of taking this industry to the next level. Can you talk a little bit about how that's all going? I know it's early stages, but it's exciting. It's exciting.
Hey, when you've got a really fun ship running, you just jump on board. And we have this image we usually use when we're hiring people. We're always hiring. So if anyone out there wants a job, we have a wonderful culture. But we have this image. We show a llama running down a beach, a llama costume, two people in a llama costume running down the beach. And I often say, how does that make you feel? I was like, well, I want to be part of it. It looks fun. So, for us, the real reason we go to GlassBuild, the thing I'm most excited about is that I love our industry. I have since 2008. And I'm really love what Glazer Nation means and does to our industry. I love the Facebook channel. I've been part of that for a while, just watching it and reading it. And really, our industry is the best people in the country. We're America's backbone. We are. We keep things going and we build. And building is what we're about, and building lives and et cetera. So I'm really excited about what they're doing. I'm excited how they can help people build their shops stronger. Glazers can be more equipped. I'm just real pumped. So we're excited to be part of what they're doing. Will our tool fit everybody in Glazer Nation? Probably not, but it's going to fit most. And if any of you have any, like I said, estimates of whatever size that you haven't heard from, you can load it right in the Bidclips, send it off, and it will perform.
And Matt Dan Company have done a tremendous job, and he's He's an American original. There's no doubt about that. Now, but before we move on from Big Clips, and we'll obviously wrap that up. But before we move on, is there a size of company that is too big for Big Clips? I mean, what's your range, or too small? I mean, I'm assuming a one man band is like right up your alley, so that's perfect. But do you get to a point where you're like, nah, you guys are a little bit too much for us? What's the size that you go after?
No, I think bigger companies have departments and different estimates. For example, a big aluminum product company usually has, some interior packages, or they have the one-off clients they have to keep happy, right? Our tool works best for your middle-size shops,
Okay.
service shops. It works very well, I think, in new packages, anywhere where someone has to make a decision to buy your product. It really is. And we've done well by trying to focus on what we're great at. It really fits shower enclosures the best. That's my heart. I love shower enclosures. I installed many in some very nice homes in Montana. That's my background. My primary excitement, showers. But we sell insulated units. We sell light commercial packages. We sell window packages. It's whatever you need it for your business. And what I like to tell people is, if someone says, I need an estimate, it fits Big Clips all the way up to $100,000, and we've seen
Gotcha.
big sales. So that should answer the question. But everybody can use it, and what's cool about it being a platform is you can use it how you need to use it. You don't have to do it exactly how Max does it, or Glass Doctor of Atlanta, or any of our other users.
Gotcha. And now the other thing that I find fascinating about you is that I didn't know about kind of your journey, and so that's got me spinning. You are like a Hallmark movie. I mean, you really are.
I never wanted to be.
I mean, even living in Montana, I mean, you are a Hallmark movie. There's no doubt. But the fact you're also a podcaster, and you have your own podcast, and it's not strictly about the glass or the auto glass industry. You're talking business, which I find fascinating, and I've talked about it on my blog. How did you get into that? What is that more kind of a fun creative release for you? How did that all happen? And tell the audience a little bit how they could find it too.
Hey, I love to talk. I'm trying to learn to say less words. I love, honestly, the podcast was an excuse to meet people like you. It was to get in the room with people that are smarter than me, that have a lot to offer. And our user base constantly needs to be reinforced. You can't just buy a technology, and some
Right.
will. They'll buy Big Clips and like, oh, it didn't do everything for me. Well, no, you got to be able to still run your business. This is a tool for an entrepreneur. It's a tool for business people. So we wanted Today in Trades to be the voice that isn't Bid Clips, the voice of just me being me with other industry people like you, and we wanted to give it to our user base. Well, our user base is primarily glass. I'm a glass guy, birthed out of glass, but we have window washers, remodelers, pest control, barrier spray, anything in home and business services, the tool fits.
Right.
And so I wanted to make sure we're picking guests that enhance the whole services industry. I err heavily on glass because that's our biggest listening base and watching base. Not that many watch. Most people listen in the vans, as you
I
can
have that
imagine.
same thing. I have that.
Yeah, and then the topics. We like to just pick topics that are today. I don't want to sit there and constantly be looking out on the horizon. I mean, that's where I live my life, looking forward. But what's happening right now? What are the problems right now?
Yeah.
Inequality in the workforce, labor shortages, making safe places for women to work in our shops, cash flow. Man, we're so busy, but are you really maximizing this opportunity? Because I went through 2008. Okay, I'm not ever saying that's going to happen again, hopefully, but I'm saying that we have to be prepared today to make the best of each day we have. So yeah, and we love suggestions. The last thing I was going to say is our marketing team is amazing. I mean, our whole team is unbelievable. I'm like lucky to be in the company, and I say that with all the sincerity in my heart. They watch trends and they watch what our users are doing, and then they say to me, this is a common theme among our support feedback, and then I'll just go try to find something that will fix it.
Yeah, you and team have built a nice little operation, and everybody is classy. I like that. Everybody I've encountered from your organization has been extremely classy, and probably treated me better than I deserve. So I appreciate that, and I like that. And what's the name of the podcast before we forget, so people can follow you?
It's Today in Trades.
Okay.
Today in Trades, and follow and listen and give feedback, please. If it sucks or I'm saying things that are terrible, just let us know. We love feedback at Big Clips and at Today in Trades.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like that. So I know you're a swamp guy, so I'm going to wrap up here. What do you know, you've had a great year. By the way, before I go on, totally agree with the cash crunch. Cash flow is cash is king, and that's a big issue. And then obviously right now the glass supply shortage and all supplies, supply chain is a nightmare. So,
Hmm.
being able to
Hmm.
stay on top of all those trends are really important. So it's good that you stress some of these, issues where people can kind of get some more information and more intelligence. But 2022 is on the horizon. We can now see it. What do you see for you personally? What's next for Jim Evans? And then, how about Big Clips? I mean, you said you've expanded. Anything new coming that way? What's coming up in 2022?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's going to be our best year yet. For me personally, I'm focused on quality over quantity. I'm trying to grow. I'm taking master classes. I'm hanging
Oh,
out with
good.
guys like Keith Dobman and Pete French from Denver, and I'm trying to learn from the best in our industry. And like Keith talks about, tactical empathy, leading teams. So I want to level up and continue to level up as a leader and a man, and so that I can better serve all of you. Big Clips as a team, same thing. We want quality. We want to help people to make it easy for people to pay you,
Yeah,
make it easy for your operation on the front end. No longer like be held hostage by your secretary or your front desk person.
yep,
You can manage and hold and give them better bonuses and treat them better using our tool, as well as your estimators in the field. We
sure,
just really want to help. We want 2022 to be the breakout year where all of you run with the tool so that we can keep building it for you. And then lastly, I'd say for the market, 1 out of 4 customers want to book when you're not open. And so we know that's fact.
yep,
Like I said, 22.65% of all down payments were collected through Big Clips after hours or on weekends. You don't have
yeah,
to be open to get people to say yes to what you presented on a Monday afternoon. Okay, we get to Saturday, we book it. And then we're the second oldest industry to postal carriers.
did not
And
know
I
that.
argue postal carriers are kind of beating us because at least they have little tablets when they show up to our house. So
Yeah,
we got to step up as an industry. So for our market, our industry, and I don't care what the future for Big Clips, Jim Evans, or Today in Trades has in the future. What I want most for 2022 is for us to start to embrace and not be so afraid to learn technology, the basics of it, to not feel like there's going to be one size that fits everybody, and to really lean into how that's going to create the future of the business for your children. Like me, I'm the son
mhm,
of a glass person. I want my daughters to have a safe, great place to work and have glass be a viable option for them
yep.
to be as a career. And so we have the team, we have the technology, we have the insight to help this forward. So Big Clips as a thought leader is going to be our biggest push. And then the technology does it works for itself.
You've got that going. You've got that going. And I'm with. I cannot stress enough that the hidden, the hidden vigor, the hidden secret is that after 6 o'clock at night time frame that so many people they're sitting
Mhm.
around, especially with the smartphone becoming so, my
Yeah.
wife does everything on her phone. She does not use a laptop or computer, everything,
Right.
and she does it at eight
Right.
o'clock at night. And
Right.
so she would be the sort of customer that would order that shower door by clicking that Big Clips button at 8:30 in the middle of General Hospital. That's
Right.
I guarantee
Absolutely.
you that's when it would happen.
you
And
know
and
and we
so
still and we still kept the service station team alive. It's growing
yeah,
like crazy, and I cannot stand when people won't answer their phones. The one time then your wife goes to make the call after, the one
yep,
call she's going to make because she
yep.
doesn't have an option. You got to have people to answer your phone. So our service station team is still available for all of you. It's still there. If you can't answer your phones during work hours, especially, just please reach out to our team. We'll use Big Clips for you. It's there's no excuses. That we cannot make excuses. We cannot be victims moving forward. We have to own our companies and our choices and get ahead of this busy and be what we call better busy.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Jim Evans, Bid Clips. He's the co-founder, CSO, and fund director, which is a fantastic title. Bidclips.com if you want to see him online. If you're coming to GlassBuild, see them at booth number 28. It's right by one of the entrances. And I'll end with this. Do you have PTSD of pumping gas? So like when you pump gas, are you like
No,
you're
I'm
thinking
actually,
back to the
honestly,
past?
that's great. We have a full service gas station down the hill from my house. And I actually like, I miss it. I loved some of those old ladies. I loved when people would come in. I loved to take, it was fun. You hear stories, etc. I do have PTSD of some situations in the glass business I've been in, like
Oh
all
yeah.
of us. But you know what I miss too is I miss the fun I used to have at glass shops. My brother and I used to see who could throw a piece of glass into the dumpster from the furthest away. OSHA, if you're listening, it never really happened. But we had so much fun at that, that's the heart that this industry does not have to suck. This industry is a fun industry. So I do miss every day being on job sites. So, but I'm trying to do this for all of you. And so think about me when you're out there actually still working.
I love it. And I have to ask, did you pick on the newbies in your glass shop and give them the glass stretcher and tell them tell them they have to make that 12 by 12, 14 by 14 and have them sitting out there trying to figure out how to make the glass bigger?
It's so funny. Yeah. With the jokes, just that you got to have that fun culture. That's what builds it. And we try to carry that all the way through the program.
I love it. I love it. Well, my friend, thank you so much for taking the time. I look forward to seeing you in Atlanta. I will be coming by your booth, and I hope everyone else who's listening to this does. And much appreciated for what you're doing for this industry. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Max. And thank you to all of you listening, and keep working hard. Appreciate you.
Awesome. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, I am thrilled now for my next guest, Michael and Carolyn Spellman of IGE Technologies, IG Glass Technologies, and also VIG Technologies. Michael, Carolyn, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having us.
It's terrific to be here. It's the #1 podcast in our industry, so we're honored.
Thank you. And I'm honored to have you guys. I am so excited because I've known both of you for a while, but I've never known the story. And this has been the best part of doing this podcast for me, is that I've known a lot of people in the industry for a long time from their industry positions, but I've never really known them. And the one thing I've never known about you guys was how you got into IGE, how you got it started, where you came from. So I'd love a little background, because what you've done, and we'll talk about it, is unbelievable. You completely transformed a segment of our industry with regards to machinery. You're about to do it again with VIG, but how did you get to this place?
You're being very kind to me right off the bat, and I appreciate that, because certainly Carolyn won't be. I don't know. Would you like me to go first, or would you like to give your version of what happened? But I was in the glass industry way before we got together. Mm-hmm. So I started, I think the first time I called on a glass fabricator was 1978, believe it or not, in the New York area.
Okay.
I was a manufacturer's rep. I had picked up a couple of different product lines that were primarily abrasives, and led to diamond tools, and I was pretty much calling on the optical labs people and various other people. How I got into that is a whole nother story, but I'll tell you over a beer someday. But
there you go.
I don't think anybody would be too interested in the rest of it. But anyway, I started calling on customers, and I really took a liking to the glass industry. And one of our big products back in the 70s was cerium oxide.
Okay. Right.
And the optical industry used to use cerium oxide to polish glass lenses. And when the plastic lenses became popular, there was no need for the cerium oxide anymore. We had to find another area to buy it. And I got word that the glass mirror manufacturers used a lot of cerium oxide. And one day I was in Western New York, and a Falconer truck went by, and I decided to go there. This is really pretty cool, because I did go there the next day. I made a cold call. I got there at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Cold call led to meeting the purchasing agent, which led to a lunch with the plant manager and the purchasing agent. In the afternoon, I met with the maintenance manager, and late afternoon, I met with Dick Turner. I spent the entire day there. And a week later, I got an order for a whole truckload rather than a bucket of cerium oxide, and little stars went off on the way home. And I thought, I think I found a new industry. So really one thing from there led to another, and started going to the trade shows, and grew up a pretty healthy manufacturer's rep business. Then I followed that into wanting to own a factory for some reason.
Okay.
Don't ask me why. I don't know what I was drinking in those days. But I actually started a mirror factory in the late 1980s. And this before Carolyn. That was not a successful adventure. But it was certainly, I learned a lot, that's for sure. And back into the manufacturer's rep business. And Carolyn came into my life, and we decided to take that rep business and turn it more into a distributorship. Okay. And that was also right around the time Forvet came into our life, which is really still today one of our flagship product lines.
Sure.
And that's when Carolyn came into my life. So why don't you tell me what your
my version
experience?
So we were married in 96 and you started working with Corvette in 94.
Yes.
94, very much into 95. It, really came into the North American market,
Right.
Michael. And we were married in 96. I was still had my own career at the time, working for Fidelity Investments.
Okay.
And in 1998, we were going to have our first baby. And I really wasn't thrilled with the idea of potentially, having to go, take a baby into Boston every day, to this daycare, whatever, big high rise. And Michael at the time was thinking this might be a good opportunity to go from being a rep to a distributor. He said,
Okay.
if I do that, I need an employee, and that could be you.
Okay.
We took a real leap of faith. I left my job, left our paid healthcare, left paid vacations. And, we took a gamble, and obviously it was a very successful gamble.
Well, yeah, and really, I have to say, when Carolyn came into life, everything went in the right direction. Seriously.
Absolutely.
So, no, it's really true. So, but I do think that a lot of what motivated me to do what I did was the passion that was developed from the friendships that I had developed within the industry. So back in the older days when I was single and a manufacturer's rep, I was really looking for the paycheck. No money, no honey. So I realized I had to make some money. So I worked awfully hard, and started to meet various people within our fantastic industry, and really became my social life because I was always on the road. And when I discovered Corvette at Dusseldorf, and that it actually did two things rather than one thing. So not only would it drill, but it would mill, or if it drilled, you could switch from one diameter to another diameter in less than a second.
Yeah.
I saw that as the heart and soul of how I wanted to go forward, because that satisfied a tremendous problem. And I brought that to my friends / customers, and they saw it and they went crazy over it. And we sold, I don't know, 300, 400, 500 of them, something ridiculous like that. So that was really the start of tremendous passion. And I really think that the passion is what gives you the energy to do crazy stuff. And that was travel all over the world looking for new and different ways of making the industry better using equipment.
No doubt. And we're definitely going to talk about that. But two things was, one is there is no doubt that you're a hustler, that you went to Falconer and spent all day there and worked your way up the ladder in one day, which is incredible. That's a great story. And then Carolyn, you coming into the glass industry, we're a different sort of world here. You're coming from big financial business, downtown Boston. What was it like when you first started to get integrated into the glass world? That had to be a trip for you.
It was an absolute foreign language to me. For a couple of years, though, I had been attending the shows just as Michael's wife, not as his business partner. So just more from a social aspect, it was great fun to be able to go to Italy and get to know the manufacturers.
Right.
So I knew some of the key players. I was beginning to understand a little bit about the industry. But honestly, when I left Fidelity, and I'll never forget doing the articles of incorporation for IGE back in 1997 is when we officially incorporated. And I didn't even know what a purchase order was. Invoicing purchase orders, that was a world unknown to me. I graduated as an English major. So a lot of on-the-job learning. And I remember our first purchase of QuickBooks was, and that's a very self-intuitive software program. So then I started to piece together. But at one point, as we began to take on spare parts for the machinery, I was hand counting in the beginning. Right. Sure. I didn't know how to do an inventory management software. I was coming up with part numbers, which I will remind everyone that we still use today. My sequencing of part numbers that has added, parts to millions of parts. But it was really an adventure, because little piles in the basement grew to mountains in the basement, grew to a public warehouse. And grew to the need to hire our first employee, which was Manny Borda 20 years ago this November.
Manny celebrates 20th year with us.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And,
so it's definitely been a journey, because it was just a world unknown.
I love it. And Manny's a great human. I love Manny. He's a super person. So let's talk IGE. So you start the company, and again, there, at least in my knowledge, there wasn't a path to, go to one person like you guys, like IGE, and say, I'm upgrading my plant and I need this, this, and this. And you would have answers for all of that. You, in my estimation, were the first ones to do that. That had to be a learning experience for your customers, your friends, and also the way you grew IGE. And you did it through passion. Your passion for driving this industry was there. So talk a little bit about how that all came together and then grew from 97 to what it is today, which is amazing.
Well, actually, I go back all the way to 78. And
okay.
Along the way, I picked up ideas and then eventually had an aha moment. That was probably, 30 years ago or 25 years ago. And that was to continue the idea of sticking with family-owned manufacturers. I like that. The majority of our customers were family-owned customers as well. Right. And to get even more of a focus, I was looking for family-owned manufacturers that made one particular type of machine that solved one particular problem in the world of glass fabrication.
Okay.
So it was a dream come true. Little did I know I was going to pull it off. Today, we have 15 different manufacturers, all making unique things and
yes.
not conflicting with one another in any way whatsoever. Think about that for a second.
Yeah.
So you have 15 different manufacturers only focused in one area of the glass industry, all under one roof at IGE. Wow. Yeah. So that was my goal. And that is what I've continued to do, including we have a list of new product lines that we're going to be bringing on pretty soon. COVID delayed our due diligence on 2 or 3 of them. So that's quite unfortunate. But as soon as I'm free to travel a little bit more, that'll start progressing, and we should have some news announcements coming up pretty soon on that too.
Because, we should touch on that because pre-COVID, I know you were on the road a ton. You both were, in different levels, because you always went and inspected everything in person with your own 2 eyes. You didn't just look at a video and say, hey, we're going to add this to the website.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. A lot more than that. Our due diligence usually lasts 2 years. And going to see customers, going to see their customers, going all over the world to really understand the equipment, then to work on drawings with them and make sure the electrical is right. It's definitely a big thing to make sure everything is right.
Yeah, quite an endeavor. Yep.
No doubt. And people are used to that. They know you're going to do the vetting for them, and that's important. So now we're moving into, even though you have, some of the delays because of COVID, you do have some new products and new machinery coming down the pike right now. And I know GlassBuild coming up, when this airs, GlassBuild's a week away. And so some people may be listening to this on the way to GlassBuild. When they come into your exhibit, I think you're 3121 at GlassBuild at number 3121. When they come in to see IGE, what may catch their eye? What are you going to talk about to the attendees at GlassBuild?
Well, one of the most popular subjects that's coming up is this bird-friendly situation. We saw that coming a couple of years ago, and I started to travel around the world looking for people that are in the laser marker business, and finally fell on some terrific people in Belgium.
Gotcha.
And they worked with me and Paco Bono, a great friend of mine from Spain, who was also terrific, in my opinion, with equipment. He and I met with them and many times and designed a machine that will produce bird-friendly markings on the glass in high production. Nice. Using laser markers. And it's horizontal. The markers are on the bottom, shooting up to the top, so it's safe for the low emissivity glass. And we're expecting a lot of good conversations about the bird-friendly machine because the codes that are coming. Canada, for example, in Toronto, on January 1st, 2022, your first, I don't know, 55 feet or something, has to be marked on Surface 1.
Gotcha.
So this is going to be a big product for us.
And this will give your fabricators an opportunity to control their own destiny, make it themselves.
Correct.
Yeah, we're really excited to introduce some of the latest Forvet automation that will have all sorts of videos and some of the new equipment that they've designed in this future-driven world of automation, especially given what some of the labor force is going through right now, more than ever. The need to automate is critical.
Yeah.
And their automation, it absolutely blew my mind. Now, I've been with them now, 7 years, 8 years, and they've always impressed me. But what they're doing now is just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
We designed an entire plant utilizing 2 employees that can produce, for an example, if we use shower doors, which is a good thing to use because heavy glass, there's a lot of fabrication goes into a shower door. Produce about 600 shower doors a day.
Yeah.
With 2 employees. Imagine. So it's amazing. Also, Langlass is doing the same thing with their smart factory. They're more focused into the glass that would be processed in an IGU.
Yeah.
Whereas Langlass is more focused, in my opinion, for the heavy glass. Forvet, I mean. Yeah. Forvet would be more towards the heavy glass. Langlass would be more for the thin glass. So glass that's being laminated, tempered, and made into IGs.
Yeah, and Forvet, I mean, Forvet's the legendary name, which obviously IG, working hand in hand, made it a, kind of the household name in the U.S. I mean, in North America, and it's like, you don't call, tissues, just tissues. You call them Kleenex. Well, when it comes to, a fabricating, piece of equipment, I mean, you call it a Forvet, and especially like the game changer, that sort of thing.
I get to machines, so that's really one of my favorite things is naming these machines. We also have a new seamer coming out. The evolution of the seamers has been interesting. And we've developed with a company called Handtech a much heavier duty seamer.
Right.
And that to me is going to be something interesting at the show. We still have tech glass, and that's very exciting.
That's the digital printing, right? And that's a hot market still. It's
still a hot market, isn't it? And it seems to get hotter and hotter, but we're especially in the automotive world right now. So, and they're just terrific people. All the manufacturers that we have, which unfortunately aren't going to be there at the show,
right,
are really, really wonderful people. So it makes life so much more enjoyable to work with people that you enjoy, you trust, that keep you excited. And then on the other side, have terrific team of employees.
Yeah.
So it's been a really great ride.
Yeah, and I've noticed that when I was in Dusseldorf, and I would see, some of the folks that you worked with, the folks that worked with them were always, so nice, so classy, so outgoing. It just whether it was Forvet or it was Tech Glass or Toramos, I mean, everybody's so nice and so well put together, and I could see why they connect with you two for sure. So that makes sense.
Thank you. Yeah, we're very lucky to enjoy what we do so much and look forward to going to these industry events. And a lot of people grouse about, I get another exhibition. We love it. We really enjoy it from a business perspective and a social perspective.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm glad I get to talk to you now, because normally at GlassBuild, I don't get any time. I don't think I can see you once in a while at a show, Carolyn, maybe in Europe, but I can tell you at GlassBuild, I can't even get close to Michael because there's usually a circle of people around him, and I wave and I'm like, hey, over here. And he's like, hey, you gonna write me up in Glass Magazine? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And then I run away because he's packed. So, and I expect the same thing in 2 weeks, September 13th in Atlanta. It's going to be a motivated crowd, and they'll all be packed around you again.
I don't know if those are customers or people I met at the bar the night before. So,
perception, reality, the whole thing, it works together.
Yeah,
exactly.
This year's going to be more interesting because I'm going to get pulled over to Vitro a little bit.
Right.
With regards to my night and weekend job, which is VIG Technologies.
Right. And we're going to talk. So before we move to Vitro and VIG, so just want to tell folks, if you want to learn more about IGE, it's www.igesolutions.com on the web. Great little sections on each product and each piece of machinery that IGE has, and also their tooling and their service. And it's a great setup. And obviously at GlassBuild booth 3121. Now on to VIG. Huge news last month when you connected with Vitro. And so let's start back again. How did you get into VIG, vacuum insulating glass. That, where did this come from? How did you get into this?
About 12 years ago, I was attending an international sales meeting at Glass in Shanghai. And I happened to be just sitting at the front row, and I heard them start to talk about vacuum insulated glass. I had never even heard the words before.
Right.
I looked around at my colleagues, and they were all, looking at their phones and writing things down. And it didn't connect to a single person there. I found that odd. And then I kept listening and listening and listening. And then when we had a break, I almost attacked Mr. Zhao, who's one of the greatest guys in the whole wide world, the owner of Glass. So I grabbed a translator and grabbed him, and I said, I got to know more about this.
Gotcha.
Well, one thing led to another, and before I knew it, he said, I'm going to allow you in to see the prototype. So first of all, any new product like a VIG can be made in a garage or a laboratory. The next step is a prototype, and following a prototype is a production line. That's
right.
Usually the steps they take. So he invited me to see the prototype. Now, that was just mind-boggling. So it became an obsession. I mean, I was obsessed with this. And I started to think of how do we do this so that there's plants all over North America. And I basically broke it into 3 target customers, one that was in residential, one that's in architectural, large buildings, one in commercial refrigeration. And along the way, I saw a good 100 people. I was talking VIG all the time. Nobody was really responding. It was very frustrating.
Sure.
So by having this hit home with a big company like Vitro is really a dream come true for me. The Glass then went on to develop a full production line in 2015. So we've been producing 24 hours a day VIG for various industries, especially right now. One of our biggest customers is a wine cooler
Gotcha.
manufacturer,
Sure.
or not, in Asia. Suddenly the Chinese people have discovered wine, and everybody has to have a wine cooler in their house.
Right.
So they're running, they actually created another production line just for wine coolers. So
Gotcha.
we have 2 lines actually operating 24/7 right now.
And I think part of it though is just waiting for the codes and the energy needs to catch up to it. I mean, people have been working on VIG for a long time, like you said. This has been in the works for a while, but now you have the AIA 2030 coming up where energy is very, very important. You have all of these other codes and energy passports and things like that VIG now will really play a big role. New York Local Law 97, same sort of thing. And you're right there now on the cusp of it, with a high performance product.
Yeah, overnight sensation, I call myself.
If you say so yourself.
I like it.
12 years struggling with VIG, and suddenly now seems to be the time. But that's okay, because I'm still on the right side of the grass. So as long as that happens, that's terrific. I'll tell you one thing, though, that was interesting along the way, is you would think that the VIG would have taken right away because of the thermal value and sound reduction, et cetera, but it didn't motivate people.
Right.
Now, once the law 97 came out and something about carbon emissions, more talk about carbon emissions rather, and the importance of reducing your carbon footprint started to be talked about, suddenly fines were included in that.
Right.
Bingo. Now there's the motivator. So the motivator is not saving fuel. It's not saving energy. It's not comfort. The motivator is to avoid the fines.
Right. No doubt. And now you've got a great partner with Vitro, Nathan McKenna, Rob Struble, Martin Bracamonte, sorry. All really good people, great company. And it's a great, pathway to being able to, properly publicize this product line.
I gotta agree with you, Max. I really thoroughly enjoy working with the gentleman you mentioned. I really, really do. And we're working closely together. We're having fun. We're exchanging ideas. They've been really, really great to work with.
Yeah, I like their they're fearless from the standpoint of, they announce you with working with VIG Technologies right at the same time they announced the Solar Volt with the, their photovoltaic product. They're constantly just pushing that envelope, which is exciting for me because I think we need to do that. And that's, as an industry, we cannot we cannot stand still. If we stood still, we'd be in trouble. That's why it's so important that you guys have done the things that you've done in your career. Bringing Forvet to North America changed the way people fabricated glass. Bringing high performance convection ovens changed the way that they tempered glass. Now, same thing with VIG. And it's in a segment. I had I've had people on this podcast in the past with different segments that I'm calling that high performance super energy product that's going to change the way things go. So whether it's VIG or a thin triple, which I know you would fight me on because VIG you will push as superior, or the transparent photovoltaics. There's so many great products in that segment that are going to just take off because we have to have that happen.
I agree. And it's exciting to have the other products too.
Yeah.
And the other products to work with one of our VIGs.
Right. And that's true.
Yeah. It's important to note there's a lot of differentiators between Landglass's Landvac VIG and others that have appeared or will be appearing. Primarily, the big one is where SGCC tempered. We use 2 pieces of tempered glass.
Right.
And we use the SolarBand 60 double coated. And we have the ability to make extremely flat glass through our convection system. So we're making large units extremely flat with just a 0.8 in between, a 0.3, excuse me, air vacuum space in between 2 pieces of glass. So it's very exciting. All the test results, all the vital information is on VIG Technologies website. Very comprehensive website. So anyone that has any questions on the product, they'll find their answers right there.
VIGtechnologies.com is the website, and definitely check that one out for sure, because and it's going to continue to evolve and grow because you're partnered up with great people between the Landglass aspect of it and now Vitro. I mean, it's a nice little setup you've got there.
It is. It really is. And I think from the beginning that VIG was a separate entity I started to find the right partner, because I don't feel comfortable selling a glass product. My customers sell a glass product.
Right.
I'm into equipment and technology, and my customers are the ones that are really supposed to sell a glass. So by my seeding the market a little bit with VIG units, I never felt that really comfortable doing. I was really looking for the right partner.
Yeah.
And boy, was my weight worth it.
Definitely. Well, before we wrap up, I have to ask, what's next for you two to conquer? I mean, you've done now, IG, unbelievable what it did to change, a segment of our world. VIG doing the same thing in motion right now. What's next? I mean, you two don't look like you're going to slow down anytime soon. I mean, so I'm curious. I know you probably want to, but
I wouldn't mind a little bit of this, but Michael doesn't survive well at this.
yeah, I don't see that. And you probably can't tell me because it's super secret, but there's got to be something going on. What's next?
Exactly.
Well, I can tell you one thing. 3 years ago, I bought my first golf bag.
Okay.
And golf is just a disaster. So that's not going to work.
Okay.
I like floating around on vessels.
Okay.
Like to do a little bit of that. But I really can't go more than a few days without getting back to work. So as long as I stay healthy, which I plan to do,
yep,
I'm not stopping. I have a list of things that are still valid on my bucket list with regards to business, and I every day enjoy it. So as long as I enjoy it, I'm going to keep doing it.
I love it.
As long as he keeps coming up with the ideas, I've got to go along for the ride because I'm part of the execution plan typically. So he comes up with the ideas.
Yeah, I'm not a detailed person, Max. I need a detailed person. And she picks up. I just mess everything up, and she comes behind me and straightens it out.
She's the steadying force. She's the this is it. I like it.
Yeah, we are definitely yin and yang. There's no doubt about it.
You want to That's what the biggest fight we ever had in our relationship was over.
Yep. Back in 1990, we got married in 96. It was right around that time, buying a computer.
Wow.
I told Karen we had to have a computer.
I didn't want to spend it. In those days, they were like $3,000.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
Expensive. I was afraid to make that expenditure, but that was one of those leap of faith moments long ago.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of, gee, do we pay the electricity bill, or, we don't pay ourselves? There was many of those days too.
Sure.
So once we got the computer, then I needed to learn how to type. So she taught me a couple times doing pinky practice and this and that. And
that's right, because I said, I'm not going to be typing for you. There's a lot I will do for you, but I will not type for you.
So I got my way on the computer.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And hey, and the rest is history. Well, you guys are a wonderful partnership. And when I asked Michael to be on the podcast, he said, I got to have Carolyn with me. We're a team. And you know what? He's right. And I apologize. I should have asked you from the start, Carolyn. I screwed that one up.
No, Max, you've been great. And you also know that no one person can get anything done like this. My team at IGE.
Yes.
We have the greatest retention. We have people 20 years like Manny, Raul, 15, 18, Jeff, 15, 16, 17, Jennifer,
Giovanni.
and Giovanni is fantastic.
On
and on. And now we have a new president, Pat Angelillo.
Yeah.
Pat's a spectacular engineer. He really has wonderful management skills. And he is also taking Canada for a territory. So
gotcha.
He's coming into the office. He's got various duties to do within the office, and he's also out seeing customers throughout Canada.
Nice.
He's Canadian, but he also has a U.S. passport. He's been a tremendous addition to our team. So we're really thrilled.
Yeah. I've met, go ahead, Carolyn, sorry.
No, sorry, just going to say a lot of exciting things still to come for IGE, in addition to VIG, but a lot of things on the horizon.
No doubt. And I've met Pat once, and really, really sharp guy. And I'm a big fan of, Jeff Spicer and Manny, we've talked about already, is just a salt of the earth human. I mean, just the nicest guy. Manny, real quick. Yeah. I was coming back from Dusseldorf for the first time coming back into the US, through that sort of customs adventure in Atlanta, and Manny, who has, a pass because all the custom guys know him already. He didn't even need global entry back then. I mean, he just waved. He was Manny. They all knew him. He waited for me. He literally walked me through the whole thing to make sure that, I didn't get hung up somewhere. He did not have to do that. And that's the sort of person he is. He's just a sweet man. And I will always appreciate him taking care of me that day. And every time I talk to him on the phone, good man. And it comes from you guys. You guys, recognize that right away. So I love that.
Yeah, the synergy of our team, we're obviously biased, but we do hear it from customers and manufacturers all the time.
Yep.
And Giovanni, our service manager, we do joke that he's really the one in the hot seat, and he does such a terrific job. It's not easy when you're dealing with an unhappy customer. Which
time is money. Absolutely.
Yeah. So we're very, very, very blessed with the team that we have.
And Mike has done a magnificent job with my videos and my documented series of videos that we did on IGE's website. Just thrilled to be working with these people.
Yeah, especially during the pandemic in those early days, and being essential, we had to remain open. And Raul, keeping the parts world going, and it was not easy because a lot of people were very anxious leaving their house every day.
Sure.
And they were incredible. They kept things going. The company kept moving forward, and they did their job, and it was not an easy thing to do for many people in those days.
Absolutely. Kudos to them. And Mike Messinest, great person as well. So I'm glad you mentioned him. And again, good crew. I look forward to seeing all of you at GlassBuild in Atlanta, at least waving to you, Michael, around the crowd that's surrounding you. So I'll at least, throw my hands up and at least, say hello. But I think it's going to be a good show, and I think you're going to be busy.
And please excuse our golden retriever that was making all that noise in the background there and demanding that we pet him down. He doesn't like to be ignored.
All good. I got 4 of them here that are always desperate for attention.
Your staff.
Very much so. Very much so.
You're a tremendous asset to our industry. This podcast has been wonderful.
Thank you.
Ask the Fabricator, Meet the Fabricator, whatever it's called. Read it all the time.
Thank you.
I love it. And I really appreciate it. And I know everybody around me appreciates the work you do in our industry. So
Well,
thanks
no,
for connecting.
thank you. It makes it easier when I get to work with folks with like you, and like I had mentioned last December, Michael, you're one of the 15 most influential people that I've worked with in my career. And again for what you've done, and Carolyn, great to get to know you over these years. And IGE Glass Technologies at IGSolutions.com, VIG Technologies, which is taking off with this new deal with Vitro at VIGtechnologies.com. Check them out at GlassBuild at booth 3121. And thank you so much for taking the time. You gave me a ton of time today. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Anytime. Love to be on the show again.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right, to wrap things up this month, I am, again, just so excited to have a guest of what I think is tremendous levels because of the company that she's with in CR Laurence. It's Barbara Haaksma of CR Laurence. She's the Senior Vice President of Marketing. You will be able to see them at GlassBuild at booth number 1921, and you can see them on the web at all times at www.crlaurence.com. Barbara, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast.
You're welcome. My pleasure. I'm excited to be here and chat with you.
Thrilled to have you. And obviously, I can't wait to see you at GlassBuild, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But I really want to talk about you because I looked you up a little bit. I feel like a stalker. I looked you up, and your background is fascinating. You were heavy into design. And now you've gone to the, I don't want to say the dark side, but you're on the other side of things and all, climbing up in those marketing leadership roles. Talk to me about your path, because I love the design factor and obviously that skill that you're bringing to our industry is exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been so fortunate, and if I would have, somebody would have told me I'd be doing today what I'm doing back when I, started in college, I would have said, no, I don't think so. But so I have an interior design degree, and I started my career as a commercial interior designer. And
right.
I was working for a development company and then for an architectural firm.
Okay.
And that's definitely where I kind of honed my love for architecture and building materials. And I can remember, being in the library as a young designer and, looking at products and just, kind of fascinating by, how are these products made and what was the design inspiration behind it. And then on the flip side, looking at products and thinking, gosh, if it could only do this.
Yeah.
So that's where I kind of developed this fascination, not only for the industry, architecture in general, but definitely on the building material and product side. So I was really fortunate after, probably 8 years in that industry, got recruited to join a global textile and chemical company. Started out as a textile designer and just kind of, worked my way through the organization and ultimately held various leadership positions in both product design and marketing, in particular at the intersection of where those two disciplines come together. Huge. Which to me was always really fascinating.
Yeah.
And working for that company, I was able to work in the furniture industry and spent about 10 years in the automotive industry and also in floor covering, mostly soft materials, textile-based materials. And then after many years there, I moved to LA, where I live today, and I joined a tile and stone company as VP of marketing. And then, I had the, wonderful good fortune to get connected with CR Laurence. And now, as you mentioned, I'm, SVP of marketing, and I have responsibility for brand strategy, for creative, digital marketing, which I'll talk a little bit more about, product design, product management, as well as architectural business development. But as I mentioned, it's always been kind of that strategic intersection of where marketing and design comes together, and understanding market trends and customer needs and technology innovations, and really using those factors to inform business strategy, specifically as it relates to, branding and experience and product design. So I'm thrilled to be with CRL. It's an amazing company and an amazing team of really, really talented people. And I'm also really thrilled to be part of this industry. It's so vibrant and it's exciting, and it's a whole whole new material that, I just think there's just, the opportunities are endless, and I couldn't ask to be in a better place.
And once you get in, you don't get out. You're part of the glass industry for forever now. You know that.
That's okay. I would be very happy with that.
And I love it too. And I love the fact that, again, with your background, the ability to work with the products, like you said, the intersection between products and marketing. And a lot of times, people who make their way into marketing take some different paths. And I love the fact that you had such a vast experience in other product realms before you came to this one that just gives you such a different view of our world. And I guess you're seeing that, in your time at CRL, you can, put some of that into play because you've seen so many different things in different segments.
Exactly. Yeah. That's been really great. And then also to just be surrounded by a team of people that are really experts in this industry as well. So, being able to bring new ideas, but also, have a team of people that are just extremely talented and knowledgeable and are so helpful.
Yeah. And it's, the brand is one that, speaks for itself, but I do like the energy that you're bringing to it. And we're going to talk about that in a second, especially with the new products, but where some of the energy comes. And I will tell you, it's the highlight of the show for me at GlassBuild is that there's always a buzz around the CRL booth. And in 2019, you had a new booth there in 2019, and there was a buzz around, oh my gosh, there's a new booth and look at all these things. And I expect it again this year, in booth number 1921, I expect that same buzz to be around there. That, did you, how do you take that, the industry kind of just goes to you guys on a show floor? That's got to be pretty cool for you.
It's really cool, and thank you for saying that. We're thrilled to be, we're so thrilled to be there to see our customers again and to really showcase our latest products and innovations safely, of course. But yeah, we kind of set the bar, and every like this year we were thinking about, okay, how can we, what are we going to showcase? What are we going to talk about this year? And I think we have some really, really exciting new products that, I'll talk about. But we also, we want to be able to celebrate the industry and certainly celebrate our customers.
Yeah.
So every day we're going to have different activities going on, from product and technology demonstrations. We're going to have happy hour in the booth every afternoon. So we hope people will stop by and enjoy a refreshment with us. We'll have product raffles. So we're going to be giving away some exciting, fun new gadgets and tools. So we're really, just looking forward to celebrating really the resilience of this industry. We're also sponsoring the Glazing Executives Forum, as well as the VIP tour of the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which we did a couple of years ago, and that's just fantastic. So we're excited to be able to sponsor that and have a lot of our customers in the industry be able to see that incredible architecture. And then the other exciting thing that I'd like to share is that we are launching a new CRL website that'll be out, hopefully within the next month. So for attendees to the show, they'll be able to preview this new CRL website that Wonderful. Is, just an entirely new and hopefully, well-received customer experience.
It must be going well because you look way too relaxed for somebody who's launching a website in a month.
It's a little smoke and mirrors, but we're going to get there.
My friend, you wear it well. That's all I can say. You're doing great because a month out, because I can only imagine. I mean, you have thousands and thousands of products, so I can only imagine the undertaking that is. I can't wait to see the preview of that. That's big news right there. I mean, that's exciting.
It's been, I'd like to say, it's been a labor of love.
Yes.
But again, I can't give enough credit to the team. That's not, our partners as well as, the CRL team that have really rallied around, it'll be a major transformation, and the amount of products, all the product data, and just really kind of taking a step back and going through the customer experience and how do we really deliver on, an e-commerce experience that will be, engaging, easy to use, make doing business with us much easier, and really, tell the CRL story and all the products that we have to offer.
Wonderful.
So
wonderful.
really exciting.
Absolutely. Can't wait. That's exciting. And obviously, the fact that you are involved in the Glazing Executives Forum, which is going to be super. And that's on Monday, the VIP Mercedes-Benz tour, where we've had, 100 winners, get to go onto this thing and see your product in action in an award-winning, unbelievable structure. That stadium is just, breathtaking. And the CRL product in there is off the charts, fantastic. So really, really good stuff. And then it sounds like you're gonna top 2019 with your booth and everything going on. So that's good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Congrats. I like it. So now, you teased a little bit and I teased a little bit, lots of new things going on. And Krista from your staff sent me some pictures and videos. So those of you watching this on YouTube, I'm going, as Barbara talks about each thing, I'm going to have them up on screen. If you're listening to this, you have to hustle over to YouTube or go to crlaurence.com and find them over there. But let's talk about some of these products that you have coming out. I don't even know where to start, because I was mesmerized by the pictures. I opened the Dropbox and I'm like, wow, okay. And then, so one after the other had me kind of jaw drop. So you lead the way. What are we starting with?
Okay, I guess the first one I'll start with is probably the product that's going to be the biggest focus in our GlassBuild booth is our new Bloomcraft PA100 panic device that's designed for 12-foot doors, 12-foot glass doors. So, the theme, obviously, the big trend in the industry are larger pieces of glass and minimal hardware. So, that's one of the things that, we just keep thinking about, how can we push the envelope further and further? And as, entrances are getting bigger, doors are getting taller, how do we make sure that we can design and deliver hardware to accommodate that? So this is really, really exciting. As you know, Bloomcraft has been around for a long time.
Yep.
We patented the original tubular panic device over 50 years ago. And now we've enhanced the system to be able to accommodate monumental 12-foot high glass door sizes, which is really an industry first. So there will be a massive door with a massively elegant and very tall panic device that we're hoping will be a little bit of a showstopper, and it's pretty exciting. The tubular form is still very purposefully designed with an ultra narrow, like 1.25 inch diameter, so it's still nestles really comfortably in your hand, and you can, push the door, with ease, and, this massive size glass door. So it's, it's really just trying to create an instant connection to the entrance and to the architecture.
Love it.
So that's one of our first exciting products.
Okay.
The next one that I think I'm equally excited about, and really is designed, to address the same trend of large expanses of glass with minimal hardware, and that's our Palisades new product line. Palisades really represents kind of this next generation of movable wall and sliding door systems. There's two systems. There's a slider, which is the Palisades 100, and then there's a bifolding complement to that, which is the Palisades S90. They both offer this grand scale of minimal hardware look, and just kind of a new level of performance with the CW40 rating, so they're commercially rated. Can go as high as 13, 14 feet high, 7 foot wide. So it's really elegant, and definitely what we think new to the industry, offering this very grand scale and elegance around movable walls and bifolding systems.
And I'm seeing the theme here: bigger is better. No doubt, you're definitely addressing what the architects want, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. And then on the railing side, our railings, we have some new finishes that we'll be showcasing. We also have a new windscreen system called Metropolis. And then kind of an interior version of that is a product called Clarity for freestanding interior partitions. I think we have a photo of that.
Yeah.
And then the other innovation is a unitized glass railing system that we have a video that showcases that. And that was a collaboration that we did about a year ago. The first installation was earlier this year of a unitized system. So it's fully fabricated within our manufacturing facilities, and
Gotcha.
the sections are made to order, custom fit to the particular balcony or whatever the space is, and then shipped fully assembled to the job site. Can be set in place, cap rail put on, so it saves labor, saves time, better quality, better fit and finish. So that's another product that we'll have on display at GlassBuild as well.
And folks got to see that video because I'm putting that video up, and that video is fantastic. Obviously a drone video, I would assume. I mean, that thing is unbelievable. Yeah, and beautiful products.
Yeah. And then of course shower hardware is really important part of our offering. So we'll be showcasing some new hardware. We'll be getting some, taking some surveys on, customer preferences, as well as showcasing some enhancements to our Showers Online program. Again, looking at user experience, how do we deliver tools that may help our customers, save time and save money and be more efficient. So we'll be showcasing things around Showers Online as well.
Super. No, boy, there's, I think there'll be a buzz around your booth like there always is, but B, I think people have a lot to find out. And I do like the fact that you're, you like you said, you're going to be surveying and quizzing, and I like that two-way street, because a lot of times, people do a trade show and they're sitting back and they're just waiting to be asked questions versus the other way around. And I like the approach you're taking here.
Yeah. And same thing with the website. We will be demoing the website, and we'll actually, have a separate place where we can, hopefully we'll do some focus groups and get some, real-time customer feedback on the new website experience as well. So we can make any adjustments prior to going to launch within the next, hopefully within the next month.
Nice. And again, the current website, and it will be even the future website, but the current website that's up is www.crlaurence.com. And you can go to that and obviously get what you need right now. And then when you're at the show, come to booth 1921, get a preview of the new website, and let your voice be heard too. I mean, I love that you're asking the questions, and anybody who complains about, well, I can't get my voice heard, we're putting it out there. You can say it. So that's important. So I know you're swamped. So I want to wrap up. We are headed into a holiday weekend too. What are you thinking about 2022 and beyond? I mean, you guys are trendsetters. I mean, you do set the table in our industry. There's the Kleenex and the Jell-O and CRL sort of thing.
Thank you.
What are you seeing for 2022? What do you feel like our world is headed to?
Yeah, thank you for saying that. We're I guess, thrilled to be, to have the position that we have in the marketplace, but it also, is an opportunity for us to continue to get better and to, kind of be that trendsetter and be that partner that we want to become and want to stay. So we're really optimistic about 2022 and beyond. We think there's such a bright future for our industry. Obviously, there's some challenges. We do have a pretty robust plan in place to address the current global supply chain challenges, which I think has been impacting everyone. So that's, one of our main focus, but we feel pretty confident in the plan that we have in place. So we look forward to, improvements there. As I mentioned, we're not only launching a new website, but we're in the process of really modernizing our whole digital technology stack. And the whole goal there is really to enable us to deliver new and personalized experiences for our customers. So, mobile friendly, easy to use product search, selection, ordering processes. We know time is money, and anything we can do to help our customers be self-sufficient on one hand, but also providing the service, when we need that, one-on-one, support. So whatever avenue our customers want to engage with us, whether it's digitally, whether it's on the phone, whether it's, whatever channel, our will call, our service centers, we're really looking to improve that experience, all around. We're ecstatic about our new partnership with Glazer Nation.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I think we're really, excited to be part of the industry on that level. They have a great following and offering some great tools. So we're looking forward to that. And, also, just continuing to innovate, looking at, addressing, issues around sustainability, around, labor shortages, around, anything we can do to build better spaces, be a better partner to our customers, and deliver the products and services that that they're looking for. So lots of great stuff, and we're really optimistic about the future.
I like that. I share your optimism. I share the same concerns about the supply chain, and like that you're obviously jumping in to address it. And a lot of people look to you for that, and so that's a big one that you're stepping up on. And it's a battle out there. We all know that. It's and there is no the one thing that I tell everybody, there's no playbook for this. There's no historical benchmark. I mean, there's nothing we can, with recessions, we can deal with. We kind of have an idea, not that we enjoy recessions, but we kind of know the way the game is played. This, we're flying here.
Yes.
We're definitely whatever we want to put to it, flying blind, uncharted waters, whatever we're in them all. So
absolutely. Yep. But we'll get through it, and like I said, it's a strong industry, it's resilient, and it's vibrant, and hopefully 2022 will be the year that things will turn around, and sky's the limit from there.
There you go. That's the way to end it. I like it. Very, very, very good. Thank you so much for your time. And I look forward to seeing you in Atlanta. We're going to have a great time and a great show. And definitely we'll stop by the booth so I can see the preview of the new website and visit with you and your folks. So thank you so much, though. And again, I really appreciate all the support that you all show for the industry, show for NGA, and then coming on this podcast. I'm grateful. Thank you very much.
Anytime. Thank you. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you in Atlanta.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, we're going to wrap things up for this month. It was a fun one. I am very thankful to all of my guests. Next month, got some neat people lined up already, and a great glazer out of the Pittsburgh area with a very, very sharp leadership team, and I'm excited about that. A iconic window player is here, and then a big newsmaker. As long as I can pin him down, he is a tough one to pin down, and I don't want to even jinx it by saying it because I don't know if I'll pull that interview off. So that's coming up next month. As always, before I leave, some quick entertainment sort of pieces. The Untold series that's on Netflix has been fantastic. Chris Dolan talked last month about the Malice at the Palace episode of Untold. I will talk about the Christy Martin episode. She was a female boxer, and during the Mike Tyson era, I knew of her. I saw some of her. Did not know her story. The story is complete bananas. Just you watch it and you say, oh my, like 5 times at least. That's the Untold series on Netflix. Check that out. And then on regular TV, I've gotten into the Food That Built America on the History Channel. Really interesting. They've taken on things like Coke versus Pepsi, Domino's versus Pizza Hut, Frito-Lay, also Oreos versus Hydrox. I mean, if you can find it on demand, check it out. Really well done. Neat dives into business, neat dives into the way decisions were made that, some good, some bad, some others. So check that out. The Food That Built America on the History Channel. So that does it for me. I look forward to seeing you on the floor. GlassBuild America cannot wait. And stay well, everybody. Stay safe. And thank you so much for supporting my blog, this podcast, and this industry. Have a good one.
Oh, the music is stopped.